Hello everyone. Now in this lecture we will study about the reciprocating pump. In the last lecture I explained about the introduction of hydraulic pump. In that lecture we have studied about the working of pump, then we have seen the classification. After that, in brief, we have studied about the rotary pump. There are different type of rotary pump, that like a gear pump, internal gear pump, external gear pump. All these type of rotary pump we have studied in last lecture. Now in this lecture we will study about the reciprocating pump. Let's start the topic. What is reciprocating pump? The mechanical energy is converted into hydraulic energy or pressure energy by sucking the liquid into a cylinder in which a piston is reciprocating. Reciprocating means a motion, backward motion and forward motion. Because of that, which exerts the thrust on the liquid and increase its hydraulic energy or pressure energy. The pump is known as reciprocating pump. You see here, this one is the reciprocating pump. This is a single acting reciprocating pump. This one is a single acting reciprocating pump which consists of a piston. This one is a piston which moves forward and backward. This piston will move like this, forward and backward. The movement of piston is obtained by connecting the piston rod to the crank. You see here, this one is the piston rod and this one is the crank, and piston rod and crank is connected with the connecting rod. So the crank is rotated by means of an electric motor, and this crank is rotated by means of electric motor. Suction and delivery pipe with suction valve and delivery valve are connected to the cylinder. This one is the suction pipe and this one is the suction valve. This one is the delivery pipe and this one is the delivery valve. Both the suction pipe and delivery pipe are connected with the cylinder. The suction and delivery valves are one-way valve or non-return valve. These are non-return valve, which allows the water to flow in one direction only. Suction valve allows water from suction pipe to the cylinder, whereas delivery valve allows water from cylinder to delivery pipe only. Okay, this is the brief about the reciprocating pump. Now, how this reciprocating pump will work? You see here, this one is the angle theta and this one is the crank. So suppose theta is 0. Now this yellow color line is at this point. That means crank is at this position. At this position theta is 0. So the piston will be at the inner dead center. This one is the IDC, inner dead center. This one is the inner dead center and this one is the outer dead center. So at theta is equal to 0, piston will be at inner dead center, and if theta is equal to 180 degree, that means this yellow line will be at this point. So in that case theta will be 180, then this will be at outer dead center, or you can say bottom dead center if it is a vertical. Inner dead center and outer dead center are with respect to horizontal reciprocating pump. If it is a vertical pump, then inner dead center will be the top dead center and outer dead center will be the bottom dead center. You have to remember this thing. So during the suction stroke, that means theta is equal to 0 to 180 degree. From theta is equal to 0 to 180 degree, there will be a suction stroke, and in that stroke water will enter into the cylinder. Water will enter into the cylinder. Now this crank is rotating like this. Now when the crank is rotating like this and it is at this point, now if it is rotating from this point to this point, that means it is making an angle 180 degree to 360 degree. It is making an angle 180 degree to 360 degree. Then there will be a delivery stroke. In that case, the piston will move from outer dead center to the inner dead center, or you can say bottom dead center to top dead center if it is a vertical one. So this one is the delivery stroke. So in a reciprocating pump, during the suction stroke, fluid will enter into the cylinder, and during the delivery stroke, fluid will discharge or delivered from the delivery pipe during this delivery stroke. This is the working of a reciprocating pump. Now let's see the type of reciprocating pump. The classification based on the liquid being in contact with the piston. There is a single acting pump and there is a double acting pump. Single acting pump, I have already explained, this one is a single acting pump. And if it is a double acting pump, then this will be the arrangement. This will be the arrangement. You see here, one suction, second suction, and there is a two delivery. This one is the delivery and this one is the delivery. That means if piston is taking suction from this end, then there is a delivery from this end. Piston is taking suction from this end, then delivery will be at this end. And if piston is taking suction, now this piston is moving at this point like this, then suction will be here and delivery will be here. So these two are the delivery pipe and these two are the suction pipe. So this is a double acting pump. Now according to number of cylinder, if there is a single cylinder, then it is a single cylinder pump. If it is a double cylinder, then it is a double cylinder. You see here, in this arrangement there are three cylinders. All these three cylinders are connected at 120 degree. This is one crank, this one is the second crank and this one is the third crank. All these cylinders are connected at 120 degree. And if it is a double cylinder, then for balancing purpose, these two cylinders will be connected at 180 degree set. And it is a duplex double acting pump, then it will be a 90 degree set. And if it is a quintuplex pump, then it is a 72 degree set. That means there are 5 numbers of cylinder. In this there are 4 number, there are 3 numbers of cylinder and here 2 numbers of cylinder. So this is the type of reciprocating pump. Now let's see the discharge of water through the reciprocating pump. You see here, suppose A is the area of the piston. A is the area of the piston, or you can say cylinder, and R is the radius of the crank. L is the length of the stroke. This one is the length of the stroke. N is the number of rotation per minute. N is the number of rotation per minute for the crank. Now for the single acting pump, a single acting reciprocating pump has only one suction stroke and one delivery stroke. So the quantity of water entering into the cylinder will be L into A. That means this is the volume of water which is entering into the cylinder. The same volume will be discharged from discharge pipe or delivery pipe. So theoretical discharge from the delivery pipe will be L into A. And this is for one rotation. Suppose there are n rotation, then it will be LA into n. LA into n for n rotation. For one rotation, the volume is LA. For n rotation, it is for LAN. And if I divide by 60, then it will become meter cube per second, because n is in rotation per minute. So this is the discharge in meter cube per second. This is the theoretical discharge for the single acting pump. You see here, 0 to 180 degree there is only suction, and 180 to 360 degree only delivery is there. Okay, for design purpose, the length of stroke is considered as 2r. L is equal to 2r. This thing you will study in theory of machine. This thing you will study in the subject of theory of machine, why we take L is equal to 2r. So L is equal to 2r, then theoretical discharge will be 2ARN by 60. This is the theoretical discharge for single acting pump. Now for the double acting pump, as I already told, if there is a suction, then delivery also there. If there is a suction at this point, then delivery also there from this pipe. So in double acting pump, during the suction we are getting water or high pressure water, and during the delivery also we are getting the high pressure water. So total volume will be twice of this one, 2 LAN by 60. Okay, so theoretical discharge in double acting pump is equal to twice of theoretical discharge in single acting pump. In this case, we have neglected the area of piston rod. This one is the piston rod, this one is the connecting rod, and this one is the crank. So in this case, we have neglected the cross-sectional area of piston rod. We have neglected the area of piston rod. Now, if we consider the cross-sectional area of piston rod, you see here, in this case, there is no piston rod, but here are piston rod. This one is the piston rod. So the discharge through the double acting reciprocating pump, if we consider the cross-sectional area of piston rod, then it will be LN by 60. From this area, you can say, or from this diagram you can say that the volume of water in this location is ln by 60. But what is the volume at this point? It will be a minus ap. That means the net area is total area of piston minus cross sectional area of piston rod. So a minus ap into ln by 60. So it will be ln by 60 into twice a minus ap. And ap is equal to pi by 4 dp square. Dp is the diameter of piston rod and ap is the cross sectional area of piston rod. So this is the discharge of water in single acting pump and double acting pump. Now let's see the work done by a reciprocating pump. Now let's see the work done by a reciprocating pump. You see here, this one is the reciprocating pump, and if I say this one is the datum, or you can say it is taking water from this sump, then this will be the suction head, this will be the discharge head. So water is delivered up to this point. So this one is the suction head and this one is the discharge head. So total head will be the static head and it will be HS plus HD. Now rate of energy or power given to the fluid by piston is given as rate of work done. So what is the work done by the piston? Force into distance. So the piston is forcing the fluid with the force F and the water is traveling the distance L. So F into L is the work done by the piston. And you know what is the F? F is the pressure into area into L. And what is the pressure? Rho G into H into L into A. So what is the rho G? Rho G is specific weight. So W into this one is the volume and this one is the H. Now rate of work done or energy or power, we can say what is the rate of work done? Rate of work done, that means we will divide this with the T. Now W into V by T into HS plus HD. This H will be the total static head. This H will be the net effective head, or you can say total static head. So HS, that means suction head, and HD is the delivery head. So W into V by T into HS plus HD. So what is the V by T? That means it is the discharge. So W into Q into HS plus HD. QTH, that means it is a theoretical discharge. If this is a case of single acting pump, then the rate of work done or power, that will be equal to W into LAN by 60 into HS plus HD. It is for single acting pump. And for double acting pump, we will multiply this by 2. You see here. So this is the power in case of double acting pump. Now what is the coefficient of discharge, CD? Due to the leakage of water through the ceilings, the actual discharge of water through the pump shall always be lesser than the theoretical discharge. So the coefficient of discharge will be the ratio of actual discharge to the theoretical discharge. So the coefficient of discharge is the ratio of actual discharge to the theoretical discharge. Then what is the slip? Slip is the difference between the theoretical discharge and actual discharge. Theoretical discharge will be more and actual discharge is less. Because of leakage, discharge will be less. And percentage of slip, what is the percentage of slip? That will be QTH minus QA by QTH into 100. This will be the percentage of slip. We can also write like this, 1 minus CD into 100. What is the negative slip? Negative slip will occur if the actual discharge is more than the theoretical discharge. That means the slip will be negative and CD is greater than 1. This will be the case of negative slip. And the negative slip will happen only in a condition when there is a long suction pipe and low delivery head. There is a long suction pipe and low delivery head. This is the coefficient of discharge and slip and negative slip. Now let's see the acceleration head, or you can say effect of acceleration of piston on velocity and pressure in the suction and delivery pipe. Effect of acceleration of piston on velocity and pressure in the suction and delivery pipe. You see here, during the reciprocating motion of piston, it does not move with uniform velocity. for the entire stroke. That means the velocity of flow of liquid in suction and delivery pipe will also not be uniform during the same stroke. So the velocity will vary with crank position, as a result of which the acceleration develops for the first half of each stroke, and for the later half there is a retardation. Now you see here, let crank be the rotating, this crank is rotating with angular velocity omega. This is the omega, remember here, this is the omega, and in time t. Let crank turns theta. Now crank at this position, now it has turned to this position, it has made an angle theta, then omega will be theta by 2. So theta will be omega into 2, and omega, 2 pi n by 6 into t. Now during this rotation, the piston has moved from this point to this point, that means x. Piston has moved from this point to this point. This is a linear displacement. And the same way, if I calculate for the linear displacement at this point, so this will be the x, this x will be equal to this one, so this is the x. So what will be the value of x? X will be r minus r cos theta. So it will be the total r, and this will be the r cos theta. So x will be r minus r cos theta. So x is equal to r minus r cos omega t, we can write. Now to calculate the velocity, I'll differentiate it. So I'll get this equation, omega r sin omega t. Now to calculate the acceleration, again I'll differentiate this equation. So I'll get omega square r cos omega t. Now A is equal to cross sectional area of piston or cylinder, and this is the capital A. If small ap, if I write small ap, then this will be the area of pipe, either suction or delivery. Area of pipe, either suction or delivery. Now from the continuity equation, you know very well, area into velocity is constant. So for the pipe, if I write ap into v, this is the velocity in pipe, velocity of liquid in pipe, is equal to capital A, that means area of cylinder or cross sectional area of piston, into this is the small v, and this is the velocity of liquid in cylinder. So from this I can write the velocity of liquid in pipe, that will be capital A by small a omega r sin theta. This is the velocity in pipe. Similarly, what will be the acceleration? If I differentiate this, then I'll get capital A by small a into omega square r into cos theta. This is the acceleration in the pipe. Okay, now let's see, L is equal to length of the pipe, and weight of the liquid is having acceleration. So what will be the specific weight? Specific weight is equal to weight upon my volume. So from this equation we calculate the m. M is equal to W into AP into L by G. This is the mass of liquid flowing in the pipe. Now what is the pressure? Intensity of pressure of liquid in pipe due to acceleration. This is the acceleration force, PA into AP. Now this acceleration force, as per the Newton's law of motion, will be equal to mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. Basically we have calculated the acceleration. Now I am going to calculate the acceleration head. What will be the pressure head due to acceleration? In this case I am calculating that one. So as per the Newton's law of motion, the pressure force is equal to the force due to the acceleration. So PA into AP, that means pressure in pipe into area of pipe, is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass we calculated W into AP into L by G, and acceleration we have calculated this one. So capital A by small a omega square r cos theta. Now from here AP will cancel out, so we got PA is equal to L by G into W into capital A by A omega square r cos theta. This one is the omega, you remember, this one is the angular velocity omega, and this one is the specific weight. Now we can write PA is equal to W, this is the specific weight, W L by G into capital A by small a into omega square r cos theta. If I calculate the pressure head, how you will calculate? PA by, you will take this W here, so PA by W, that will be the head, that will be the head, that means in terms of height, in terms of meter. So Pa by W will be equal to L by G into capital A by small a into omega square r cos theta. This is the pressure head due to the acceleration. This is the pressure head due to the acceleration. Now from the above equation you see here, if cos theta, now cos theta is 1, how it will be 1? At the beginning of stroke, theta is 0, I have already explained. In that case cos theta will be 1. So the pressure head due to the acceleration will be L by G into capital A by A into omega square r. And in the middle of the stroke theta is 90, then this will be 0. And at the end of the stroke theta is 180. So during that case acceleration head will be negative. So during the first half of suction, that means 0 to 90 degree, acceleration will be there. During the first half of the suction stroke, acceleration will be there. And during the second half of the suction, that means 90 degree to 180 degree, there will be a retardation. Okay, that means acceleration is reducing. There will be a retardation. Now if I calculate the pressure head due to the acceleration in suction pipe, then I can write pressure head due to the acceleration in suction pipe, that will be Ls by G, that is the length of the suction pipe. Capital A is the area of piston divided by small a, that is the cross sectional area of suction pipe, into omega square r cos theta. Similarly for discharge pipe I can write, so HAD will be LD by G into capital A by AD. Small d represents the discharge pipe and here small s is representing the suction pipe. So this is the equation for acceleration head, you can say, or pressure head due to the acceleration for suction pipe, and this is for discharge pipe. And this I have already explained. During the suction theta is 0 and middle of suction that is 90 and end of the suction it is 180. So this is positive, this is 0, this is negative. Similarly for discharge pipe we can write it is maximum, that is positive, and it is 0, it is negative. This thing I have already explained here. See here. Now let's see the indicator diagram. What is indicator diagram? Or you can say theoretical indicator diagram. Consider the single acting pump. During one complete cycle, the work done by a pump is given by, this is the work done by a single acting pump. This is specific weight into theoretical discharge into HS plus HD. So this is the equation, W into ln by 60. This is the discharge, theoretical discharge, and HS plus HD. Now this one is the indicator diagram. This one is the indicator diagram. This is the reference line or datum, you can say, and this one is the atmospheric pressure. This one is the atmospheric pressure, and this one is the suction stroke, and this one is the delivery stroke. So at this point it is the pressure head. In this axis pressure head is there in the cylinder, and in this axis stroke length is there. So what is Fe? Fe is the atmospheric pressure head. Fe is the atmospheric pressure head. AB is the pressure head in the cylinder during suction stroke. So HS is the pressure head in the cylinder due to the suction stroke. What is CD? CD is the pressure head in the cylinder during the delivery stroke. CD is the pressure head in the cylinder during the delivery stroke. That means it is the HD. Now total work done by the piston during the complete revolution of the crank is proportional to the area of the indicator diagram. You see here, WAN by 60 into HS plus HD into L, HS plus HD into L. This is the area of rectangle. That means it is the area of indicator diagram. So the total work done by the piston during the complete revolution of the crank is proportional to the area of indicator diagram. Now let's see the effect of acceleration head in suction pipe on indicator diagram. You know the acceleration head for the suction pipe will be this one, I have already explained. Now if theta is equal to 0, then it is positive, and if theta is equal to 90, then it is 0, and if theta is equal to 180, then it is negative. What is the meaning of this? When theta is equal to 0, then acceleration head is positive. That means velocity is increasing, and if velocity is increasing, then there is a reduction of pressure. So from this point If I am not considering the acceleration head, the suction will start from this point, from A. But if there is a acceleration head is present, that means velocity is increasing, then there is a reduction of pressure. So this point will shift at this point, A to A dash. So this will be the acceleration head. So total head for the suction, that will be Hs plus Has. So at the beginning, what will be the head? Hs plus Hs. It is in vacuum, that because of it is below the atmospheric pressure. That's why it is written vacuum. What is the absolute value? Absolute value will be Ha minus Hs plus Has. Okay, this one is the at the beginning of the stroke. At the middle, theta is 0, so this line will be 0. It will be here. And at the end of the suction, what will happen? At the end of the suction, there is a retardation. That means acceleration is reducing. It means velocity is decreasing. Velocity is decreasing, so pressure will increase. That means this point will shift up to this point. Pressure is increasing, so this point will shift from this point to this point. So this one will be the Hs and this one is the Hs. So net will be the Hs minus Has. So Hs minus Hs will be the vacuum. That means from this point, this is the end of the suction stroke. Now if we calculate the absolute value, what will be the absolute value? That will be Ha minus Hs minus Has. So this will be the absolute value. Now because of the acceleration head, this point has been shifted. Okay. Now in the same way, the effect of acceleration head in the delivery pipe we can calculate, or we can see. You see here, effect of acceleration head in the delivery pipe on indicator diagram. You see, the acceleration head will be LD by G, A by small ad into omega square r cos omega t. At the beginning of the discharge, acceleration will be positive. Middle of discharge it is 0. End of the discharge or end of the delivery it is negative. Now in the beginning of discharge stroke, the liquid is to be accelerated. Liquid is to be accelerated, for which an additional pressure head is required to be developed in the cylinder. That means this one is the C point was there. Now this point will be shifted at this point. So this will be the additional pressure head required. So total head will be HD plus HAD. Now in the middle, theta is 90 and you can say it is 0 at this point. So HAD will be the 0. In the end of the discharge or end of the delivery stroke, the liquid to be retarded, for which a pressure drop is required in the cylinder. So pressure head in the cylinder will be HD minus, this one is the HD complete, and HD minus HAD. If I calculate the absolute value, then it will be H8 atmospheric pressure or head due to atmospheric pressure plus HD minus HAD. This is the absolute value. For this, the absolute value will be this. So these are the absolute pressure head at the beginning and at the end of the delivery. Now if I combine both the effect, that means effect of acceleration head in suction pipe and in delivery pipe, then we will get the indicator diagram like this. This is the indicator diagram. This one will be the original one or theoretical one, you can say. And because of the acceleration head, this will be the indicator diagram. Okay. Now let's see the effect of friction. What will be the effect of friction on the indicator diagram? Effect of friction in suction and delivery pipe on indicator diagram. You know very well Darcy equation, HF is equal to FL V square by 2GD. So from this equation we can calculate the head loss FL by D 1 by 2G capital A by small a omega r sine theta whole square. This is omega r sine theta. This one is the sine theta. And in the same way, for the suction pipe we can calculate, and for the delivery pipe we can calculate this one. This equation is for suction and this equation is for delivery. This equation is for suction and this equation is for delivery. Now if theta is equal to 0, then friction loss will be 0, because it is sine theta, sine 0 will be 0, then term complete will be 0. If it is 90, then this will be maximum, and if it is 180, then it is 0. So the friction loss in the suction pipe is zero at the beginning of stroke and end of stroke, but at the middle of stroke it is maximum. And thus friction loss varies from theta with theta. That means it is varying parabolically. It is varying parabolically because theta square, you see here, because of this square, this equation is varying parabolically. So this will be the curve. So at the beginning of stroke it is 0, at the end of the stroke it is 0, and in the middle it will be maximum. So this will be the maximum friction in the suction pipe, or friction loss you can say. Now in the same way for delivery pipe we can calculate. In the same way for delivery pipe we can, please correct it, this one is the sine theta, please correct, this one is also a sine theta. So for the delivery also we can calculate, that means before the delivery or beginning of delivery and end of delivery, the friction in the delivery pipe is 0, but in the middle it is maximum. Okay, so with this effect or with the effect of friction, the indicator diagram is reduced like this. Now you see here, this is the final indicator diagram which has effect of acceleration head and friction, both. Now what is the total work done during the complete cycle? In this case, what is the total work done? The total work done will be, I have already told that it is directly proportional to area. So WAN by 60, it is the theoretical discharge. And what is the area? Area ABEF. ABEF, this one area, plus 2/3 of this area, and this area plus 2/3 of this one area. You see here, easily I have written all these things. Now what is the absolute pressure head during the suction stroke? The absolute pressure head in the suction stroke will be HATM minus, if I take the bracket, then it will be HS plus HAS plus HFS. These are the total head. So this minus I have multiplied, and that's why it is written like this. And for the absolute pressure head during the delivery head, it will be like this: HATM plus HD plus HAD plus HFD. This is the head due to the acceleration. Both these are head due to the acceleration, and this one is the head or loss due to the friction. Now let's see what is air vessel. An air vessel is a closed chamber containing compressed air in the top portion and liquid in the bottom chamber. You see here, this one is the air vessel. In the top air is there, and in the bottom water is there or liquid is there. At the base of vessel there is an opening where liquid can flow in and out of the vessel. You see here, air vessel is fitted for the following reason: to obtain the continuous supply of liquid at the uniform rate, to save a considerable amount of work in overcoming the frictional resistance in suction and delivery pipe, to run the pump at high speed without separation. Now let's see in this figure the single acting reciprocating pump to which air vessels are fitted to the suction and delivery pipe. This one is the air vessel, this one is also air vessel. The air vessel act like an intermediate reservoir. During the first half of the suction, the piston moves with acceleration, which means the velocity of water in the suction pipe is more than the mean velocity, and hence the discharge of water entering into the cylinder, or the water which is entering into the cylinder, will be more than the mean discharge. This excess quantity of water will be supplied from the air vessel to the cylinder in such a way that the velocity in the suction pipe below the air vessel is equal to the mean velocity of flow. Now during the second half of the suction stroke, what will happen? The piston moves with retardation, and hence velocity of flow in the suction pipe is less than the mean velocity of flow. Thus, the discharge entering the cylinder will be less than the mean discharge. So the velocity of water in the suction pipe due to the air vessel is equal to the mean velocity of flow, and discharge required in the cylinder is less than the mean discharge. Thus, the excess water flowing in the suction pipe will be stored into a air vessel, which will be supplied during the first half of the next suction stroke. This is the working of air vessel in the suction pipe. Now let's see the air vessel working in delivery pipe. When the air vessel is fitted to the delivery pipe during the first half of the delivery stroke, the piston moves with acceleration and forces the water into the delivery pipe with a high velocity than the mean velocity. The quantity of water in the excess of the mean discharge will flow into the air vessel. This will compress the air inside the vessel. During the second half of the delivery stroke, the piston moves with retardation and the velocity of water in the delivery pipe will be less than the mean velocity. The water already stored into the air vessel will start flowing into the delivery pipe, and the velocity of flow in the delivery pipe beyond the point to which air vessel is fitted will become equal to the mean velocity. Hence, the rate of flow of water in the delivery pipe will be uniform. So, this is the function of air vessel in suction pipe and delivery pipe. Now, friends, I have completed the reciprocating pump. In reciprocating pump, we have studied about the working, then discharge, then what is the work done. After that, we have seen the indicator diagram. All these things we have studied. And what is the effect of acceleration and effect of friction on the indicator diagram. All these things we have studied in detail. Now in the next lecture, I'll start the centrifugal pump. We will study centrifugal pump. Thanks for watching this video and have a good day. Bye bye.